Welcome back to Majestic Mondaze. And today we are talking about visibility because everybody says they want more, right? They want more opportunities, they want more confidence, more recognition, more success, more love, more alignment. But the second life requires them to actually be seen, they freeze. They hesitate, they overthink, they shrink, they hide. And honestly, I think one of the biggest things holding people back right now is not a lack of talent, it's fear of visibility, fear of being perceived, fear of being judged, fear of being misunderstood, fear of trying publicity, fear of failing publicity. And trust me, I get it. Because being seen sounds empowering in theory until it actually starts happening. Until people start watching, they start responding, projecting, having opinions. Then suddenly, visibility feels vulnerable instead of exciting. Let's talk about how shrinking can look very, very normal. So, the thing about shrinking is that sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it doesn't even look dramatic. It just looks like not posting your content or not speaking up in conversations, holding back your ideas. It looks like staying quiet when you actually have something to say. Downplaying yourself so other people feel comfortable. Sometimes it's playing small and chill because it feels safer than fully expressing yourself. And over time, that becomes normal. You get so used to filtering yourself that you don't even realize how much space you're not taking up, right? And I really want us to unpack that because there's a difference between being grounded and disappearing. There's a difference between humility and self erasure. Hmm. Now let's get into people pleasing and performing safety, right? A lot of shrinking starts as protection, right? Maybe at some point being fully yourself didn't feel safe. I know it was like that for me. And maybe you were judged or criticized. Maybe you were made to feel like you were too much. That's something that I went through. Or too emotional, right? Too loud, too expressive, too ambitious. So being told that, you learned how to soften yourself, how to edit yourself before other people could, or how to make yourself easier to digest. And honestly, a lot of people are walking around performing versions of themselves that feel quote unquote acceptable instead of being authentic. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's exhausting. I've been there, done that. There's still some times where I do catch myself doing that, but constantly filtering yourself disconnects you from yourself. So you start questioning, how should I say this? Or how will this be received? What if people think I'm cringe? What if I fail? What if I don't support me? Or what if they don't support me? Sorry. And then suddenly your life becomes centered in, around perception instead of expression. And like I said, I've definitely had moments where I hesitated before posting something, or sometimes I wouldn't post it at all. There are definitely a lot of moments where I questioned if I was saying too much or if I was sharing too much and being too vulnerable. And you can ask my friends, like, I'm very much an open book. When I am so when I feel a certain way, I will talk to my friends about it and I will express and just tell them exactly how I feel. And immediately after, I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, what if they look at me differently? I've learned that my friends that love me and accept me, they're going to allow me to be that version of myself. They're going to allow me to be vulnerable. And especially with podcasting and workshops, these things are very, very personal to me. They feel personal to me. This isn't just content, right? This is my heart. my thoughts, my healing, my creativity. And putting that online can feel very vulnerable because once something is visible, people can respond to it. People can misunderstand it. People can judge it. People can project onto it. And honestly, there were moments where I caught myself wanting to hold back. Not because I didn't believe in what I was doing, but because I was afraid. I was afraid how it would land. And I had to realize something really important. I cannot build the life I want while constantly hiding from visibility. Those two things cannot exist together. Here's something freeing that I had to learn. Again, people are going to project no matter what. If you're quiet, people project. If you're loud, people project. If you're confident, people project. If you're healing, people project. People interpret others through the lens of their own experiences. And once I accepted that, which is still something that I have to accept on a regular basis, I stopped trying so hard to control perception. Because honestly, trying to manage everybody's opinions is exhausting. You could explain yourself perfectly, and someone would still misunderstand you. So at some point, you have to stop building your life around avoiding judgment, especially if you want growth. Because visibility is uncomfortable at first, but hiding becomes uncomfortable too. And eventually, you have to choose your discomfort. A lot of people think confidence comes before action. Like one day you magically wake up fearless. And that's usually not how it works. Confidence is built through exposure. Let me say that again. Confidence is built through exposure, through posting anyways, through speaking up anyways, through showing up anyways, trying anyways. Confidence grows every time you survive something you thought would destroy you. And most of the time, the thing you feared wasn't even as bad as your mind made it seem. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about social media and visibility, okay? Social media really has made visibility weird as heck, okay? Because now people feel like they're performing constantly, which shouldn't be the case. People over edit themselves, they overthink their captions, they delete videos if they don't get enough likes. And honestly, I think people are starting to confuse visibility with validation. Those are not the same thing. Being visible does not mean everyone has to approve of you. Being visible means allowing yourself to exist fully without shrinking every time somebody might have an opinion. And honestly, I'm really grateful that Instagram has allowed you to hide your likes, because I think that was one of the things that really got to me for sure. When I didn't have enough likes, or when I didn't have the likes that I wanted, if I didn't hit a minimum 100 likes, I would panic and freak out, and I would hide my likes because it's like, what the heck? But now when I post, I automatically hide my likes because I don't want to focus on that anymore. I don't want to care about that. I don't want to be known for how many likes I have on a video or how many likes I have on a picture. So I want you to think about what your life requires from you. The version of your life you want probably does require visibility, right? Like your business needs visibility, your creativity needs visibility, healthy relationships require visibility, and opportunities require visibility. Even even confidence itself requires visibility. Now that I think about it, because how can people connect with the version of you they never actually get to see? Huh? Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we underestimate how much hiding delays our lives. Not because we aren't capable, right? But because we are allowing ourselves to be witnessed. So I want you to ask yourself honestly, where am I shrinking? Where am I filtering myself so much that I no longer feel fully expressed? What opportunities might exist for me if I stopped hiding? And who would I become if I trust myself enough to be seen? This is honestly one of the reasons movement and dance have become so important to me, because movement teaches you expression without overthinking. It teaches you presence, confidence, freedom. And when you move your body without obsessing over how it looks, you reconnect with yourself differently. You stop performing so much. You start feeling instead, and that's powerful. You do not need permission to take up space. You do not need universal approval to express yourself. And you do not need to become perfect before allowing yourself to be visible. Your life is waiting on your willingness to stop hiding, okay? So post that content, apply for that opportunity, wear that outfit, say what you feel, move how you want, express yourself fully, please. Because the people meant for you cannot connect with the version of you that stays hidden. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. I really hope that you are going to allow yourself to be seen. You're going to let yourself be visible. You're going to show off your craft, your creativity, your business, and live the life that you want. Okay? Because we are no longer shrinking ourselves. Okay? Thank you again. And I'll talk to you guys next week. We're going to talk about main character energy and how main character energy requires main character decisions. Okay? All right, y'all. Have a good week. I'll talk to y'all next week.